All right, welcome to the Spinnin Backfist show. It is Robbie Fox and Jack Mack here, and we are about to throw it over to an interview with Francis Fire Marshall from Jersey City. He's a great guy, great interview.
Great interview, and also fighting this weekend.
He is fighting this weekend. We're, of course, supporting him, local guy, but we got to tell you about Monaco first. Monaco is the new presenting sponsor of Spinnin Backfist. They're also a sponsor of the UFC. You've got the watermelon classic margarita, the hard lemonade, which I love, and the Kentucky coffee. The spicy margarita as well. They all have 2 shots of tequila made with tequila. It's great stuff. You're going to love it. It's great for the fights especially.
They have the margaritas
this weekend.
Look, I got one, the margarita, and then the hard lemonade actually is made with vodka. So they have a vodka one, They have a tequila one, and we see it in the cage. I'm like, that they sponsor the UFC Spinnin Backfist.
It'll have you craving it. Yeah, you come over to Spinnin Backfist. And then is this for the next morning, the Kentucky coffee? You know, you shake off that hangover with a little Kentucky coffee, and maybe in your coffee.
Yep. Free adults. It's a free country. You can drink whenever you want. Just do it responsibly.
Drink responsibly, 21 and up, of course. But Monaco, we thank you for presenting the
Thank
Spinnin
you.
Backfist show and presenting this interview with Francis Fire Marshall. All right, welcome back to the Spinnin Backfist MMA show. It is Robbie Fox, Big Ev, Jack Mack, and we are here with Francis Fire Marshall. Coming up on a fight, what are we 2 weeks away now?
10 days.
10 days away. So we're within 2 weeks, still in New York for now. Yep. You said you just trained in Hoboken this morning. How'd it go?
It was good. I got a little boxing in this morning.
How's the camp been going overall?
Camp's been going great. This one came up quick. You know, summertime, I feel like it makes the time go quicker. And then just getting notified. I didn't find out until like 9 weeks out. So like the last 2, I think, was like 12, 13 weeks. So this one kind of flew up.
Do you start camp when you get notified 12, 13 weeks out? Do you start that far out, or do you try to keep like an 8-week camp?
I usually do 10 weeks. So I like start to plan it out. And then by the time 10 weeks hits, then it's like locking in. So like the first 2 weeks is kind of fixing up the diet a little bit from like 12 weeks to 10 weeks. And then 10 weeks, I'm hitting it hard.
How much of the diet has to change?
Nothing crazy. I try not to get like above like that 170 range.
Got it.
But it's just more like switching to like more whole foods, like
Got it.
Cleaner eats and stuff like that, just to
100%.
get the body fat down.
I'm sorry, so obviously the opponent, Isaac Dulgarian, first hasn't fought yet. A contender series guy hasn't fought in the actually no, not a contender
Looking for
series
a
guy.
fight.
That's what I was looking for.
It was like the Nelk Boys one.
That's right. How so like you watching regional stuff, like you watching tape, like how deep do you go into like the breakdown, like that element of it?
So like we watch film on like just about everyone pretty much, just to get a little bit of a game plan, but I try not to go too crazy, and like I'll let my coach take care of that more. I'll watch it a little bit in the beginning and then like a little bit now just to get like a feel for it. But sometimes if you go crazy on the film, you start to lose it.
Yeah, I think especially obviously you guys are like guys like less than 10 pro fights. I feel like there's so much like improvement and stuff like that. I get for you, like how much do you think you're like, you can say like well, I guess I'll ask it, like when did you start training MMA?
I started doing jiu-jitsu when I was 13, so
you're like
10 years
a
ago.
new age kind of, because we see a lot of guys that, you know, they wrestle their whole life, then they go to college, and then after college you hear, oh, they're picking up MMA, but you are kind of the new age. You did everything.
Yeah.
You didn't, was it a conscious, probably a conscious choice to not wrestle in college?
Yeah, for the most part.
Okay.
I kind of did it backwards. Like I started with the jiu-jitsu and like the MMA stuff, and then I got into wrestling my junior and senior year of high school.
Oh, okay. So you weren't even freshman and sophomore?
No.
Did you play sports?
I played football my whole life up until like my junior year.
What high school?
Manasquan.
Oh, Manasquan.
Oh,
Nice.
yeah.
Okay, so you're down like near the shore. Yeah, that's awesome.
Did you look at the wrestlers your freshman and sophomore year as a jiu-jitsu kid? Like, I'll choke all you out.
Well, I mean, the wrestling team wasn't that great at Manasquan, so it was like, I'll beat all you up. I don't really care.
And then did you like take to it and enjoy it when you joined?
Yeah, it was actually kind of really funny. When I started, I thought it was like WWE. I thought you had to hold them down for 3 seconds,
Same.
like get the 3 count and then get the pin. But I was in like a whole nother world when I started.
Yeah, no, I signed up when I was 9 years old, walked in the first day and asked my coach where the ring was. And he was like, oh, brother, you were in the wrong spot.
I mean, Tito Ortiz said that had like the same exact story.
Yeah.
Like he did the same thing. He was like, wait, you can like slam him for real? And like, he's like, yeah. And that's how he like got into it.
Yeah, see, I was the opposite. I was like, you can slam him for real? They were like, yeah. I was like, all right, I'll see you guys later. No, I did. Listen, I was 1-2. I mean, it's not a great record, but I got one
W,
win.
though.
It was my first 1-2. I got to win. The next 2 losses, I was like, yeah, this ain't for me. Left the gloves in the ring. what is your favorite aspect of the camp itself? Do you have a favorite, like one aspect of it that you actually really look forward to?
I think I just like the grind of it, like that 10-week, just all in grind feeling for however long that camp is, and just getting after it.
Is it more of like an isolated, not isolated necessarily, but more of a this is 1v all mentality, or is it like a very team mentality with you?
It's a lot of like personal, so like I guess like 1v all, but at the same time, it's like the team would be like my coaches and a couple training partners, but otherwise I keep a pretty small circle.
You and I've read some interviews with you, and you've always talked about how much you love the grind and embracing it. Does that come from anywhere in particular? Have you always been that way? I mean, sometimes I remember me being like, oh man, like this stinks. But then you hear like these top tier athletes and you're like, oh, you have to embrace like the suck.
Yeah.
But sometimes I don't know if is it the chicken or the egg kind of thing, or is that something that you developed?
I think I kind of developed it over time. Like when I first got into it, I was kind of just like, bouncing into classes 2 days a week, whatever. And then when I started to really buckle down, my coach Kurt, he kind of really drilled it into me at a young age.
Yeah.
He drilled it in at a young age. Like, you're training, you're not going out, no partying, no friends.
Yeah, you said that in an interview, I think with UFC. You said you didn't really even miss that.
No, because I realized at such a young age, like if I wanted to get to this level, I got to do things that other people aren't doing. Like, I'm not going out on weekends, hanging out, partying with my friends. I got training the next day, or I have a tournament this weekend. So it's a lot of just like sacrifices back in high school when everyone else is out like having fun. And yeah, it sucked. Like, you're looking at your phone, Snapchat and everything nowadays.
Yeah,
like,
of course.
Seeing everyone out having
the
fun.
FOMO.
Yeah, it's terrible. But now looking back on it, I'm in a way better place than 95% of those kids.
Yeah, you're in the fucking
especially growing up down the shore.
Yeah. It's
I
crazy.
love it down
Even
there.
now,
The
it's still
summer's
like
got to
that
be
now.
brutal.
Yeah.
But
Do you live in Jersey City or Hoboken, or?
I live down in Howell now.
Okay. It's probably better you're not in Hoboken.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, there's more, for those that don't know, there's more bars than like people
Most
in
bars
Hoboken.
per capita, I think, in America.
Yeah,
That's
I mean, it's a
crazy.
great place.
Really?
It's
In
sick.
Hoboken?
In terms of like the space, like
Wow.
the space is like the most bars per, whatever it is.
I'm in like Madison, Wisconsin, which
Crazy.
is
Madison, Wisconsin.
yeah, because I guess
drunkest
the
city in
college.
America.
and Wisconsin people just love drinking over there.
Drunkest
They
state
love
in
it.
America. I want to
crazy.
ask you about the Contender Series. I'm just so fast and crazy that it starts next week again. What's like the thought process from like getting the call, you're getting the shot, to like going? It's like the truly like the like Bud Crawford walked up to like the MM to lose yourself. That's like the true like the lose yourself like moment. Like what's like the psyche going into that, getting the call, like going through the training camp for that, and then like obviously like you seize the opportunity. Like what's the whole like walk us through that.
Well, I got the call, I think it was like in April for the fight in August. And I was like, all right, it's happening. Like, we're here. I got to 5-0. Like, we reached out to them, blah, blah, blah. We got the call, time to lock in. So like I was actually going through a knee injury at that time.
Oh shit.
So by the time June happened, I couldn't train for like 6 weeks. And then
Damn.
June came along, I started like sparring again, getting back into it. And then just that camp, I was like so laser focused, just ready to get in there and like prove myself for a contract. But at the same time, it was really scary for me because I was like, what happens if I mess up? Like, what if I get knocked out in front of Dana White and all these people? Like, this is my first time on the big show. Like, and it's not even the biggest one.
Mm-hmm.
So just like a mental, not block, but like getting through that the mental block, I guess, getting through that. And then just going out there and performing. Like, the first round to that fight, I thought we were going to get out like a nice feeling out process, take it easy for a couple minutes. He came right out and like started throwing right away. So I was like, oh crap, I'm going to fight. We got to go.
Yeah.
So like,
And you
pick
went.
this up. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then just went down the path in the 3-round decision.
I'm sure. What week was your? Do you remember?
I was the second week.
Because I was gonna ask him because that first week it was
Yeah.
what Dana was pissed.
Yeah.
When everyone
Yeah.
went, I'm sure when everyone went to the decision, but they were like kind of boring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And besides the Joe Pfeiffer, he laid the big knot. That was the whole like be like Joe Pfeiffer. What was that? 'Cause did you watch the week before? Did you like?
I did, yeah. Because
that must have really put like some.
I was like, oh, I want to see like, kind of how it is this year. Blah, blah. Like, I've seen it in the past. And then I was watching it and you see he was pissed that night.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I really got to put on a show now.
fuck,
And then
yeah.
he
The
gave us
pressure's on.
a little speech in the back he gave like beforehand. Nothing like bad. He was just saying like, you guys know what you're here for. Like, I don't want to have to tell you, like, I've never done this before. Just go out there, fight and perform. Like, act like you want to be here pretty much.
So even though you won very dominantly, were you nervous that it was a decision at all?
Yeah, I wasn't nervous about winning the decision. I was more nervous about I didn't finish. I might not get a contract.
That's what I was thinking. Because I remember you won like very like easily, but on the cards, obviously, him talking about finish, I'm sure that must have been a little like.
Yeah, I was the only decision on the card. There was 4 other finishes, and then me. I was like, it's a little.
I remember you showed you very like well rounded. You showed like your entire skill set. I remember pretty well.
Yeah, I got
striking was good. Wrestling was good.
Yeah, I got the opportunity to show a lot of that, which I think helped me out a lot. I think if it was pretty like just a wrestling decision, it would have been kind of not in my favor.
And so you're coming off your first loss in your professional. Did you have any losses in your amateur career?
No.
Okay, so first like MMA loss, and I mean from a fan perspective, and it's very tough because like you're watching at home, you're on the couch. But me watching that fight, I was like, oh, I wanted Francis to do more. Did you come out of that fight thinking like, oh, I should have handled it differently, or was it just? I mean, the crazy thing and what I love about MMA the most is like a baseball player, right? If they have a bad at bat or a bad game, like it's no big deal. Like they can go back to the ballpark tomorrow.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, whatever. But like if you're feeling off or you go into the cage, you have an off night. I mean, you have to wait 3, 6, who knows? You could get injured. Like your whole career could be over. But was it tough? Like, was there an identity crisis or anything when you got that one? Or was it like, hey, this is MMA, people lose?
It was definitely like I messed up. Like I should have did my game plan for the first.
I thought you won,
2
by
rounds.
the way. But you don't have to say anything, but I thought you won by
But the last round, so that
he punched air more than anything.
Yeah, it was a lot of shadow boxing.
I mean, like, yeah, he beat up the fucking air like oxygen, but like, I was like, I don't think Francis even got caught, but whatever.
Fighting a ghost in there.
Yeah.
But I mean, that 3rd round is where I kind of performed to where I was supposed to in the first 2. So I kind of had a slow start, was a little hesitant on doing the shots and takedowns because he was a little longer than I thought.
He was long, yeah.
But you look back on it, it's like, all right, now I'm just going to follow the game plan, do what got me here. Don't get caught up in trying to finish him with punches or chasing him around the whole time, kind of. So we kind of figured it out, sat down, watched the film. I mean, I watched that fight a ton more than any fight of mine that I've watched before.
Wow.
What did it like? Does it hurt watching a loss like that, or are you?
Yeah, it sucks, but at the end of the day, I kind of just gotta not move on, but look at it, reflect, and then like take some knowledge from that and use that going forward.
And I would predict for you, just listening to your mentality, you're probably pretty happy getting back in there pretty quickly because it's like, all right, let's get over it.
Yeah, I wanted to get back in like July, I was hoping for.
Yeah.
And then they gave me August, which it's not too bad, 3.5 months.
Not bad at all.
Nice quick turnaround.
Now you have one of the best nicknames, Fire Marshal. Obviously, you have the Firehouse connection and whatnot. What's the difference between sitting around the firehouse with the boys and sitting around a locker room with the boys? What are the main differences?
Not much. I mean,
more cheap shots.
I was going to say, is the firehouse more vulgar?
Probably a little more vulgar, but a little more dressed. In the locker room, you might just have a towel on with the boys.
Got it. Yeah, we've seen the photo of Habib and all the guys like in the hot tub. No, that's the firehouse. Yeah, I would assume that's probably the closest thing to it.
To a locker room?
It's like a high school sports team again.
Yeah.
It's like you're just hanging out with the guys, you know. I mean, obviously it turned serious quick, but
oh yeah,
it's kinda just
yeah.
Like you get a group of friends that you see every 4 days, and it's kind of.
I would also assume that brings you close together very quickly when you go through like a serious fire calls and shit. You come back to the house, it's like, well, we just went through that together.
Yeah, and then especially you're spending 24 hours with the same people twice a week. It's like.
Have you watched any of the fire shows? Like Fire?
No.
Okay. I wanted to see how realistic.
I've seen some clips.
I wanted to see how realistic they were.
Fire PD.
Really.
No, that doesn't make
but
sense.
I said
Chicago
last night.
Fire, is that one?
Chicago Fire.
That's right.
Yeah.
Chicago. I wanted to see how realistic they were. I would assume kind of, but
A lot of Hollywood in there.
yeah, a lot of dramatics.
Yeah.
I would say that must have been how cool that must have been when you either Contender Series or after your first UFC when like coming back to the firehouse.
It was
That must be
pretty
dope.
neat.
Get the reception.
Yeah, they were all watching. They were all supporting obviously, but it was pretty cool to come back home. But at the same time, it's like you come back home, and I like the part where I'm back to reality. You're back to normal. Like, I'm back low man on the totem pole there, so it's not like.
Well, I was gonna say those guys must break your balls. Like, oh, that
Yeah.
guy thinks he's Hollywood now. He's on TV.
Especially after that loss. Like,
I would love to see a camera on the firehouse for like one of your fights.
Might get
like
fired.
cut back to the firehouse, like everyone cheering him on. And
I just,
everything.
I just pictured the chief up at the TV,
No
like
audio,
shadow
no
boxing.
audio. No audio.
Yeah,
Just
no,
like
yeah, exactly. We won't connect the mic. Yeah,
worry,
we don't
yeah,
want
no
anyone
audio.
getting
I
canceled.
picture the old guy in the house is like never falling. He's like, throw the jab, Francis. Throw the jab. Like, he's like,
It's like, why can't you just get up? Like, it's just like stand up.
Why weren't you doing that? Why weren't you throwing kicks? Come on.
Yeah, the backseat fighters, the
Yeah.
best. That's always the best when you're at a fight too. And you
Oh,
hear
yeah.
someone screaming it, like if they're close enough to the cage too, I'm always like, oh man, someone's like getting grapple fucked in there and they're just screaming like, get up! I got money on you, motherfucker!
Yeah. Go pissed off because they bet on you.
Yeah.
Sorry, man.
that's it. That's it. My go-to is just throw the jab.
Yeah.
Because smart people say that.
Yeah,
like,
true.
use your jab. Use your jab.
Yeah.
It's always, if you establish the jab.
Use the
it-
jab.
That was the jab. Yeah, that's a good one.
So you fought in the Apex every
Mhm.
time.
Except for Orlando. I
Oh,
fought
Orlando. Yeah, what am I
in
saying?
December.
But so comparing the two,
Mm-hmm.
what's it like? Because us as fans, we like when it's more the crowd. But I'm personally probably a bigger fan of the Apex because it's like, oh, there's more fights. It's probably easier for the UFC, not to lick the boot too much or anything, but it's like they don't have to do too much. But is the atmosphere that much different?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the energy.
You feel like
in
you're
the arena,
training, right?
It's like, yeah, it's almost like you got to pump yourself up for a sparring match at the gym almost. But I mean, obviously on a bigger stage, but
Yeah.
just the energy and the electricity from like going from Orlando to the Apex is like, it's night and day.
You
really.
hear everything.
Yeah, you hear everything. It's like you don't have the crowd. Like that gives you
Oh,
some energy in it, like,
100%.
who knows? Maybe if I'm not saying that I would have 100% won, but like if we had a crowd there, maybe it would have picked it up more quicker. Like,
100%.
it's a whole different ball game.
How clearly are you hearing like the opposite corner in those situations when it's like
You
quiet
were
like
speaking.
that?
They were speaking French.
Yeah,
Oh, that's right. But even
But
for
even
even the
that-
contender series.
Oh, contender series.
not
yeah.
much. I mean, I kind of lock it. It's like weird. You drown everything out, and you
Mhm.
can only hear your corner. So I kind of like lock into that. Even with the crowd, it's still lock into.
You
the
ever hear
corner.
like the announcers?
On the contender series when I was walking up, I heard Bisbing talking.
Nice.
I was like, oh,
I know there's always times in like, especially the Apex, where like they'll like start taking their advice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
DC.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
like start taking like DC's advice
See
like
that?
on the things.
Did Bisping give you the nickname?
what's up in the air? I don't know if Bisbing or Sanko did it.
Oh,
Allegedly.
it's
okay.
one or
Bisbing
the
did
other.
it
Are
on
they
air.
fighting over
Sanko
it?
claims she did it before.
Oh wow,
And, like,
That sounds like a
He-
Bisping
That's
move.
a little bit. You know,
That sounds like a
he
Bisping
just
move.
took claim what
Yeah.
she said like in like the fighter meetings.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I remember him being like, "How is this not his nickname? This is outrageous."
they had a little argument on it. On
So
there.
did you not have one prior? No nickname.
No nickname. I was
It-
never a
it-
nickname guy.
It fits perfect.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Even the alliteration too.
Yeah.
Your job. I mean everything.
Do you watch fights a lot on the weekends? Like,
I started more
Okay.
like probably within like the last year or so. Just
Oh, really? Only in the
Yeah.
last year?
I used to not really be that big into it. I would only watch like guys that I was kind of interested in, like Dustin. I would always watch. Who else? Volkanovski. I would always watch.
Yep.
But otherwise, I really wasn't like tuning in. Now, usually, if I don't have much to do, I'm trying to tune in every weekend. But it's a lot to see. I think like what new stuff is coming in, because like you'll pick up
Mhm.
some stuff maybe in a prelim fight that you don't know who the person is, but you could pick up their game, see what they're doing that's working,
Yeah.
and try it for yourself.
Do you think in not watching a ton of fights until the last year, is that just a product of you being in this since you were 13 and being surrounded by a little bit of just like, this is my job?
Yeah, probably. It's like you don't want to go to work and then watch work when you get home.
Yeah.
But now it's like a little more enjoyable for me.
so what do you do outside of the cage or training and whatnot? Not much?
Not
Yeah,
much.
okay,
I
cool.
mean,
You're
I'll
locked
golf
into
a little
that.
bit.
Yeah.
Golf a little bit, cool.
Yeah, I'm like when I get free time,
You break 100?
a couple times, not many. I haven't
All
really
right.
been out much. Like this year, I think I was only out twice because the training in the summer messes you all up.
That's the only golf question I really know how to
You break
answer.
100?
You break
Break
100?
Now it's break 90.
Yeah, now, we got a coworker that's trying to break 100. Well, he was trying to break 100. He broke it. Now he's trying to break 90.
Yeah.
He hasn't done that.
You got to ask people their handicap. What's your handicap?
Yep.
Like, you sound like
Do you have a
Yeah.
handicap?
I don't know.
Yours would
I
probably
don't
be
even
like
know.
28.
Yeah. Mine would be like 100. I mean, mine would
What's
be
it like
high
training
out
with
there.
Frankie?
It's really cool.
Okay.
He's very knowledgeable. I mean,
Yeah.
Kurt brought him in before the last fight as well.
Yeah.
And just the amount of stuff he knows and like from guys he's trained with around the world and like picked up on, and then he's able to share back to me and like other fighters. It's great.
Did you see him becoming a full-time coach?
I can, yeah.
Okay.
He's been working a lot, I think, with kid Mark Gray. He's 5-0 out of Catone's gym, I think, but he trains with Frankie a lot.
Where's that guy fight? Mark Ray?
He's fighting actually this weekend, I think, in Pennsylvania.
Cool.
But
you weren't in the gym when someone went flying out of the cage with Frankie, were you?
no, I don't train there. That's
Different gym.
Yeah, different gym.
Gotcha.
I
That
saw the
clip
video
was
though.
crazy.
I think that might have been with Mark,
It was nuts.
maybe.
Went flying right out the
I saw,
door.
yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it happened in a fight.
Yeah.
Not that long ago.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
it was the one he
Guy went and fought in the UFC.
Well, no, he
was
was
supposed to,
No,
and
he
he
had the
Oh,
brain
that's
problem. He
right.
was supposed to fight Jack Della.
Oh, yeah,
That's
the
right.
brain. Yeah.
Yeah.
Forget
That
his
shit
name.
was crazy.
I can't believe that actually
Thank God
happened.
they
I think
discovered it, though.
Josiah, I think was his name.
Josiah Harrell.
Yes.
Yeah. Crazy shit when they don't put that pin in the cage.
I don't know how you forget. Maybe the pin was bad or it wasn't fully in.
He blasted. He went for a shot at double leg and he blasted through it.
It
was
know if
crazy.
It's usually like steel.
I
think-
know.
Yeah,
If
like-
it's in,
I
it's
think,
in.
I think it couldn't have been
yeah.
hooked in correctly at least.
That guy had to get fired.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's
Like
we could spend all day talking about commissions and like
Yeah,
how,
I mean,
how
that
little
was
shit
regional.
they give about anything.
As long as the fighters are both okay and neither of them suffer an injury, it'd be so awesome to see at a UFC card.
Yeah.
Just
fly
Just someone Goldberg spear another
Oh,
guy
Nickel
through
just
the
like
cage.
spearing somebody through. Yeah.
It'd be better if they kept fighting when it went outside the cage.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They should have kept it going.
Well, we're
Like
giving you
WWE
ideas.
right
Yeah.
there.
We're giving you ideas for your next fight right
No,
now.
I gotta pay the guy.
Spear through the cage. Keep going.
When you hook
No.
that thing, just hook it. Just leave it a little up.
Yeah, right in front of Dana, like boom, boom, boom. Get him on your
How
side.
much do you pay attention to guys like in your weight class? Like, do you focus like more on that guy, like obviously potential opponents and things like that?
I've been trying to pay more attention now, like focus a little bit. Like when featherweights are fighting,
Yeah.
I usually try to definitely tune into those just to see the level and like kind of who's who and who's winning what. Like, so I'll try to get that aspect to see potential opponents, but at the same time, I'm not really like in a position to be calling anyone out.
Of course,
Yeah,
yeah. No, I hear what you're saying. Well, I mean, because I know obviously you said Volkanovski, one of the main guys you watch.
Yeah.
That obviously like the pinnacle,
Yeah,
something
he's
for your
great,
weight class,
man.
but just in the sport right now, to be
Yeah.
honest.
He's
Like
awesome.
I think he's tied with John Jones right now for pound. Is
Yeah,
it?
they
He should,
tied.
he
They
should
tied,
be.
yeah.
He definitely should be. I mean, he's
Yeah.
unbelievable.
It's crazy.
Have you gotten to meet him? Or like, what are like? Have you gotten to meet any of these like bigger guys?
Not really.
Interact with them at all?
Not much. I mean, I've seen when I fought in Orlando, I saw a bunch of them walking around the hotel, but not really like meet and hang out or nothing like that.
You train at the performance center when you go out to Vegas?
Yeah, I stopped in there a couple times.
Yeah.
Before the last fight, we couldn't go there for the contender series because we weren't signed UFC. But last time I just went out there, got a couple workouts before like during fight week, and then that was really it.
Cool.
So you'll get out there. When are you going?
Monday
And
we leave.
Monday. Okay. And how is your weight cut going to be difficult or not?
It shouldn't be too bad. It's probably the same as usual. I was like, I think 15 over this morning.
Got it.
So then by the time I get out there, I'll be like probably around the same, maybe like 13, 12. And then the last Thursday night into Friday morning, I'll cut like the last 10.
Got it.
And then that's like the worst part.
Yeah, 100%.
You ever someone miss weight against you so far?
Well, the last kid I fought missed weight the first time. So he came in a pound over. So the scale
right,
was
that's
from 9 to 11.
Mhm.
He missed by a pound. They gave him an hour to make it. And he just made 46.
What do you think? Like, because obviously it's been a big like the Wonder Boy thing happened this
Yeah.
week. It's kind of been
Yeah,
a
I
big
saw
thing.
that.
Like, what do you think should be the penalty? Like, you think it should be like half the purse? Because there's a lot of talk. It's 20%, 30%. It's not enough. There's not enough punishment. Like, what do you think is like the proper punishment for something like that?
I don't know. I guess you could try to up it, but there's still going to be guys that I think really try to make it. Like there's sometimes your body dries out, your body acts
Mhm.
different, especially with the girls. I heard it's like
Yeah.
with them, depending
can
on the
be
time
on-
of the
yeah,
month,
yeah.
they could gain 4-5 pounds. So
100%.
that could really screw them out. But
That's the tough thing. It's like even the differences in male and female, but also like I'm sure there's guys sometimes you'll hear like maybe you get sick, maybe there's something. The
Yeah.
body's
Yeah.
so interesting. Like there's things you can't even. That's why it's like it's your job. You have to show up on weight, but how do you differentiate the idiot who's like eating too much and then the weight cut doesn't go well, or the person who's really specifically cutting weight and then something goes wrong with their body?
yeah,
Yeah.
it's tough to tell. I mean, I think some guys you could kind of kind of tell like when they're really coming to the scale all sucked out, no energy.
Oh, yeah.
Like they look horrible and they still miss, and it's like, all right,
Like they
you're not
tried
gonna-
to make it.
Yeah. They at least tried, but then some guys you see just hop up there like not a care in the world.
Yeah.
Whatever.
They smile like it's like
It's
Yeah.
it's like when
sir,
someone
blank,
smiles in a
blank.
mugshot and
It's
you're
like
like,
blank has missed weight. You see ananically.
yeah.
yeah.
So I saw a few suggestions of people making it like it should be like the percentage is based on how many pounds you miss by.
Yeah.
And I
Yep.
thought that was interesting because I think it's not like, for example, like Michelle, like this, like the Wonder Boy Michelle Pajeda thing, like he missed by 3 pounds, very significant.
Yeah.
Like they were saying maybe like do like 3 pounds is like 50%. Because think about when it's 20, like if you do that, you're almost like you would probably give up 20% to like have a better chance to get your win bonus.
Yeah.
Especially against a guy like Wonder Boy, who's really good.
It's a good
Well, I
point.
guess
It's a
if
very
you
tough
miss
fight.
weight, I think you can't get a bonus.
No, your show
yeah,
win,
yes,
not
yes,
like a bonus
yes.
bonus. I mean like your show win.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's almost like giving up 20% to like have a better shot to get that like extra half.
Yeah.
Do you get is the 20% taken away from the win bonus
I'm
as
pretty-
well?
I'm pretty-
I think
I'm
so.
not- is it-
I think
is
I think it would be total. So
I think
if
so,
you're
Okay,
yeah.
that makes sense.
Total would make sense.
But then
Yeah.
it's given to the opponent, correct?
to him,
That's
yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
to him.
That's shitty though.
No, I
Because I
agree.
think a lot of guys would almost
Yeah.
like make that trade to like have like a significant advantage, especially
And what's a
if you got
win?
a tough opponent.
And what's a win to your future value? It's probably
Exactly,
huge.
exactly.
Like the win on a pay-per-view against Wonder Boy is probably worth more in value sense than a like just your win bonus. Just from a like, media, like you're all over social media and whatnot.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's an interesting thing to grapple with. I don't even.
Or they could just, if you miss weight, just give you your show bonus.
That-
Even if you
that-
win, don't pay him the win
Yeah,
bonus.
just your
Because in wrestling, it's a forfeit, right? In
I
say
think so,
college
yeah.
wrestling,
Yeah,
like high school
yeah.
wrestling, if you just like miss
You
weight,
can't
it's like you
compete
You
in
lose.
can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah.
You're out.
I'm sure that'd be tough to just give him. They should, because I know that was the thing with Wonder Boy. They were saying he's kind of like fighting for his show.
Yeah.
But I think we were saying just that it was pretty much because Dana was on vacation that he probably was going to get it.
Yeah, which is
that's-
very
that's so
funny.
funny. Like, oh,
He's
yeah.
like, Dana's on a boat. He'll probably pay me back. Yeah.
But that's kind of shitty that like you show up, you know what I mean? Show up,
Yeah.
make weight.
No, it's tough.
Oh,
And the other guy
100%.
misses weight and you're just like, what the
Take
fuck?
the flight
I
out
think
there in a
Wonder Boy,
week.
he should have got paid for that then.
That's
Yeah.
I think that's what he was saying. He hasn't yet, but he was thinking he's hopeful.
Yeah, I think they usually
I would
like,
think he would.
because
Yeah.
you did your job, you showed up,
That's
you
what I'm
made
saying.
weight, you should at least
I
get
thought
your
it was,
show.
I always thought it was if you made weight, it just was like a thing. Like
I think
Yeah.
it
it's
is.
just like locked in that one check.
And he's
Yeah.
like, he's not just anybody. He's like a legend.
Yeah,
too.
of course,
Like
of
I feel like
course.
they're gonna hook him up.
Yeah. Right.
Appreciate you coming in though.
No, thank you for having
We're,
me.
we're obviously rooting for you. We'll have you in the Spinnin Backfist parlay if we get one up that week.
Awesome.
You ever look
Sounds
at the
good.
betting lines or no?
A little. I gotta see it if I scroll on the ESPN app. It'll
Of
be
course,
there. But
yeah.
We're on the Barstool app.
on the Barstool app,
They don't got a
Just
sports
kidding.
book at least. ESPN.
Yeah, true.
I can't bet though, so I'm.
No,
Of course.
no,
No, don't worry.
We're not
definitely
trying
can't.
to.
We've been covering
No
that.
gambling.
It's actually
That's
just
new.
past the
That's,
year.
that's like brand new.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
But they can't bet on any
what
fights
happened
right
in
now.
October? I think it came
That's
out.
right. Yeah.
With James, yeah, we're not trying to James Krause you.
No, we're not trying to cross anybody.
Oh.
All right. Tune into the fight. 10 days away. Well, I guess by the time this comes out, it won't be
August
10
12th.
days, but August 12th. Yeah.
Should be fun.